Invasion Force! Release us!
I got a shotgun.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
Hey, you okay?
Oh, some damn enchiladas. Oh.
You gonna be all right?
Oh.
Can you tell me where I can find a book on astronomy?
Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System?
Conan the Librarian.
I'm sorry. These books are a little overdue.
Oh, look at that over there.
What is it, darling?
I believe they're lesbians. Well, we're British, you see, and where we're from, lesbians don't exist.
Neither does toothpaste.
Or sunshine.
Or good food.
Or sobriety. Yeah.
You gotta get yourself a nice 250-pound dwarf, huh? That hair on her chin you can hang on to, huh? Huh?
We like to breathe the future. Promise broken bones. Promise broken bones. Promise broken
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
inside this cow. searching for you. I'm still 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 from dirt to the sky. I'm still searching for you.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian. Okay, well, I wish I could say that it's been a really quiet, calm, collected week in which nothing happened for me on a personal level, and I got through it with absolutely no difficulties. That'd be nice. But no, not necessarily. Been kind of a lot of turmoil behind the scenes here at the Weekend Geek, and I don't want to get into particulars about who's involved and what's going on and everything, but let's just say that some folks are going to be leaving because they desire to leave. I have not kicked anybody off the show. I have not banned anybody from the show. I'm not that kind of person. If I invited you to the show, the only way I'm going to remove you from the show is if there's a lot of significant problems that that we can't reconcile with. And I think I've only had to do that once with somebody. But yeah, if you notice that, in the next few weeks or so that there's a lot fewer panelists on, well, that's because of stuff that's shaken up behind the scenes. And I'm annoyed about it because I'm still pretty much grieving, and people choose to start all this stuff up in the midst of my grief. And I don't really think it's fair to me, but, I guess some people just figure, hey, man, fuck your grief. We're going to make our point here and now and whatever. But no, nobody's banned from the show. Nobody's off the show. Nobody's been kicked off. If people have chosen to leave, they've chosen to leave for their own reasons. Some folks are kind of going to be vacationing for a little while until things die down. But yeah, things are still kind of shaking out a little bit behind the scenes. But as far as I'm concerned, everybody on the panel is my friend. Everybody who is part of our Weekend Geek chat is a friend of mine. And people who are not part of it, of course, are my friends also. I'm not on this YouTube channel to make enemies. I figure I'm going to do that anyway with my opinions. It's just natural, You can't say, I like butter on my bread and not have, somebody crawl out of the woodwork and say, oh, so you don't like mayonnaise on bread. Is that what that means? You hate mayonnaise? Does that mean you hate white people too because they're mayonnaise colored? I don't get it. But I'm tired of it, man. This is not the time for me to be worrying about this shit, and I don't want to deal with it, and I'm not gonna. And if you make me, I'm probably gonna just go back to my ride or dies. These two guys.
See here, I thought you were just talking about me this whole time. I'm the one you're kicking out.
Yes, Caster, I'm getting rid of you because you're too ginger.
There you, sir.
Damn gingers. Yes, we're like Hollywood. We're going to get rid of the damn gingers.
Hands up, shawty when you party with me, we going way back school to the creek. I said hands up, I'm good in the VIP. I got my...
That's right.
What? What?
What?
What?
That,
Yes.
Us is just having a Mitch McConnell moment.
There you go. There you go. And hello, Automatic. Yeah, sorry we got started a little bit late. Yeah, behind the scenes stuff going on. And Mercurius, it's good to see you. Lord Thoth. Yeah, Thoth, I really want you back on the show at some point too. You know, I know you're busy and I know this is your bad day, but damn it, I really miss you. And I miss Fat Steven being on the show, and I miss Arwen and all of our other friends. I'd really like it if Left Eye and Abomination AJ were on here too, but yeah, no.
I see how it is. Me and Ninecaster just aren't good enough for you, so yeah, you want all these other people.
Well, you know, monogamy was never my strong suit. Maybe that's why I'm single. Parrot Head blames Baphomet. Really? Well, you can't blame Baphomet for all this. I mean, you know, Baphomet likes everybody. See?
What can I say? I like everybody. Everyone is welcome here. Come on down, sign the contracts. We've got a spot for you here. We don't discriminate. We treat everybody equally down here in hell. This has been your Lord Baphomet telling you, stop playing with dice. Go play with some boobies or something.
I mean, you know. That's why I always say Grim Jim has the best job in the world. He gets to play with dice and see boobies.
Well, yes, I don't get to play with the boobies. I get to play in the presence of the boobies.
Well, I mean, you know, that's the next best thing. And shout out to Ryan David. How are you, Ryan? It's good to see you, buddy. All right. So like this is like the week of nostalgia for me. Actually, the last 2 or 3 weeks has been the weeks of nostalgia on top of the weeks of grief. But yeah, it's like First Jagged Alliance 3 comes out, which is, you know, a way back blast from the past.
I know it's been getting all your attention lately.
Yeah, it has up until recently, and then all of a sudden out popped Ninja Saviors, which if you don't know what that is a that's a redo of the SNES version of Ninja Warriors, which is an old Taito arcade game of the same name, in which it's a side scroller. You play a ninja, a robot ninja, going through an entire fortress of bad guys and trying to take down this nasty, evil, mutant-looking dude named Banglar. Right? I know, doesn't sound that great, but anyway, the SNES got a port of it where they added some extra characters and some different bosses and some different stuff. They called it the Ninja Warriors, and that was released on the SNES back in the 90s.
See, when you said that name, I thought this was going to be like a reskin of Vampire Survivors.
Yeah. And so, yeah. This is a thing that exists, and it finally got over to the PC. It was up on the Switch for a little bit, and the one on the PC has got extra characters in it. It's got Yaksha, that little chick in the white, and then it's got another character I haven't unlocked yet, because part of the game is you have to go through it and unlock all these characters and to be able to play them. And it's not easy. It's a pretty tough game. But it's a lot of fun. Huh?
Is this co-op?
It is co-op. It is definitely...
This is something I'm going to add to my wish list, because I'm a sucker for that SNES era.
Yeah. And here's the cool part, too. It has the original soundtrack, but if you get through the game you can unlock the arcade soundtrack, which if you have not heard the original Taito Arcade Ninja Warrior soundtrack, the opening track alone is worth it. I wish I had a clip of it somewhere. Is it coming out on PS4, PS5? I don't honestly know, David. Like I said, it just hit PC. It's been out on Switch for a little while. I kind of doubt it since it's a Nintendo product. But you can always, cross your fingers and hope.
It looks like it's also done a remake of Pocky and Rocky as well. So, that's another one of those classic Super Nintendo titles that, there is a sort of legacy attached to.
Mm-hmm. And there's a new Ratchet and Clank that just came out on PC, which I don't play that, but it is out. But then a couple of days after that, another one came out. Double Dragon Gaiden: Rise of the Dragons. This is a completely new, cool idea. Where, if you remember the old Double Dragon game in the arcade, and I sure do, I plugged lots of money into that arcade machine when I was a kid, and it is back. It's bigger than it ever was because it is a multi-stage affair where you can select a stage, take on a different gang, and depending on which iteration of the gang you take on, you have to take on more stages and different bosses.
So it's sort of a roguelike, isn't it?
They term it a roguelike. I don't really see it as a roguelike so much, but one of the things you can do is you can change difficulty settings on it. And the reason you want to change a lot of these difficulties is because as you progress throughout the game, you earn tokens. And the tokens let you unlock additional characters to play through with, additional artwork, and additional music. And so that kind of keeps the game pretty replayable. And not to mention, it's pretty fun.
It's no River City Ransom.
What else is River City Ransom? River City Ransom was awesome, man. But yeah, Double Dragon is also a 2-player extravaganza. It is a lot of fun. It's got some story elements to it. And yes, it does have the old classic tracks, like my favorite, which is the Slum track, which is the very first stage that you play the game in. But yeah, you can bring back old Jimmy and Billy Lee in something that isn't a horrible Hollywood movie.
I do miss the heyday of side-scrolling beat-em-ups.
I know.
Seemed like that was the go-to game to do if you had a licensed property. You would do a side-scrolling beat-em-up.
At this point, I'm kind of waiting for them to release some kind of a new version of Final Fight or something, because I know it's probably coming.
Yeah, we gotta get Mike Hagar out there, cleaning up the streets again.
Do you? Okay, this is kind of interesting. Do you actually know who Mike Hagar is based on?
Wasn't it from an anime?
No, he's based on a real person. Dan the Beast Severin, who was a Japanese professional wrestler, but also an MMA competitor. He fought in Pride UFC, but he also fought in Pride and the UFC. And man, he was something else. Big old monster of a guy with this Swedish porn star mustache, and the dude whooped people's asses. But yeah, that is who Mike Hagar is based on.
Huh.
I found that out recently myself. And Malak, he says, yeah, they're having a renaissance recently with TMNT and Streets of Rage. Yes, they are. Yeah, Streets of Rage 4 released a year ago. And I played the shit out of that thing when it came out.
We also just got River City Girls 1 and 2. So I think we are definitely in that sort of side-scrolling beat-em-up renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
As well as I believe Capcom also just recently released a beat-em-up combo pack that has 4 of the arcade games all in it.
Yeah, they've released several one-on-one fight combo packs and side-scrollers like that. They're fun. It's all good stuff. And retro is kind of like making a big comeback, and I can't say I'm upset about it.
Yeah, I'm all there for it.
Yeah, I love it. It's like I don't have enough games on Steam. The nice thing is most of these things don't take up a whole lot of memory on your hard drive. So yeah, if you're not in the mood to play something like super duper extremely complex and story driven, like I don't know, Baldur's Gate 3, and have sex with bears, you can download like 2 gigs of Double Dragon Revenge or something, and go to town on that stuff
instead of going to town on a bear.
Yes, go to town on a bunch of villains. Victor's been playing Power Wash Simulator. Really?
Yes. Welcome to the club, Victor.
I've never played that.
Oh yeah, no, you got to get that.
Really?
I've talked to her a few times. Yes. No, it is actually like, it's cathartic to just like sit here and just straight up like power wash like a dirty sidewalk, go up to a house and like kind of cleaning all the gutters, like all the stuff you probably should actually be doing, but you're like, I feel like playing a game instead. I know, let's power wash a merry-go-round. And then you find out there's DLC, and you're like, oh, I can clean Laura Croft's house. I can go power wash Cloud's bike from Final Fantasy VII.
I'd kind of like to power wash Laura Croft's outfit with her in it.
I think we're getting some Warhammer 40k DLC.
Are we?
Because everything's getting it now, yeah.
I know we're supposed to be getting Space Marine 2 at some point. That should be fun.
Power washing all guts out of the boot.
Out of the dreadnoughts. It is gumming up my works, brother.
You power wash SpongeBob's house.
Wouldn't you use a sponge?
You think so?
Oh, Das Wolfen. Okay, you're talking about the side scroller beat 'em up that you fight through the floors on a building with a boss before the stairs. That was called Kung Fu Master in the arcades. And I played the hell out of that thing. Yeah, because before there was Double Dragon, there was Kung Fu Master, there was Trojan on from Capcom. And those got PC ports some time ago, and they're really good. Actually, I don't know about Kung Fu Master, but Trojan definitely did, and I played through it. I would have played it on stream, except I didn't think anybody would want to watch me play retro games.
Well, I mean, it's more fun to, sit there and kind of chit-chat with a buddy.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I guess you'll have to get it, and we'll have to go through some levels. I don't know. Or I don't know. Grim, you don't actually get into beat 'em ups, do you?
No. Especially not online.
Is it just too,
too competitive?
Too competitive. Oh, it's just not cerebral enough for you.
Yeah, I don't like getting my ass beat by 12-year-olds.
Oh, that's different though. I'm not talking about fighting games. I'm talking about beat 'em ups.
That's the term is interchangeable around these parts.
Oh, is it? Okay, no. When I'm talking about 1v1 fighting games, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't expect, I don't want to fight my friends or anybody online, because there's nothing that's got to be more embarrassing than being beaten up by an 8-year-old South Korean kid.
Yeah.
So.
And unfortunately, all those games have been really leaning heavily into the online play stuff.
Yeah.
So, and ignoring the single-player campaigns and things. Yeah, I make an exception for Guilty Gear because I just enjoy the characters so much, but the latest one just wants you to play online all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I thought that was one of the failings of Street Fighter V. Was that they leaned so heavily into the gotta fight other people thing. Street Fighter 6 does that to an extent, but it at least has the first player, world tour mode, so you can have some fun with that and just power level your character.
Yeah.
Although the enemies really seem to be cheap. Speaking of which, I think they just dropped the new Rashid character for that one, and boy, let me tell you, I'm so excited about Rashid. Probably my least favorite character in Street Fighter V. And they insisted on sticking him in everything in that game, and I'm just kind of like, I don't even like this character. So for them to bring him back for 6, oh yeah, somebody, Capcom does. According to Capcom, Rashid was supposed to be the main character for Street Fighter V. See, this is something I have never understood. Capcom has never, on all of its Street Fighter games, has never actually taken what's interesting to the fans or what the fans want to see. Instead, they keep trying to push who they want you to play. Because I think canonically, most of the Street Fighter fans out there really love Ryu and Ken the most and would consider them to be the main characters, the heart of the game. Because they're the ones who have been there since the very first game.
Well, there's also the matter of the quote-unquote controversy around some of the new characters with Street Fighter.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, like, okay. So as of Street Fighter 3, Capcom made a new character that they wanted you to play, and it was considered to be the canon main character, and that was Alex, who was the long-haired, kind of Hulk Hogan-y type wrestler, fighter, ex-military guy. And I don't think anybody played him. In fact, I know I never did. I never liked him. I just didn't find him interesting. I didn't find his moveset interesting. He didn't even throw any projectiles. And then Street Fighter 4 came out, and they had this other character who I can't even remember his name. He's that forgettable. But he was supposed to be some French, kind of MMA weirdo type character who I don't think has ever appeared in any of the other games afterward. I think he appeared in Street Fighter X Tekken, and they made him into such a joke that it was kind of like, and I'm supposed to care about this guy? And then, of course, Street Fighter V, it was Rashid, who was plastered all over that game and who made me want to vomit. I mean, it's like, I kept wishing that you could keep hitting your opponent while they were down. Because it's like, oh, look, Rashid's in the game. Oh, I beat him. Okay, can I keep kicking him? But, and now here we are at Street Fighter 6, and I think the character that they really want to push, they want you to like so much is, what is his name? Steve or whatever? The MMA boxer weirdo with the scars on his face and all that. The guy that you meet at the very beginning. It's like, I don't like this guy either. Why
this guy.
Yeah. Oh, this guy. Yeah.
Be better if it was Steve from Claddy with a Chance of Meatballs.
I guess so. Steve. Yeah. But I don't get it, man. It's like, why Capcom wants to keep pushing these new characters off on you and making you want to try to play those when people pretty much, they have who they like. I mean, I think most guys in America, if they don't like Ryu and Ken, they like Guile. And Guile's cool.
I think most guys like Chun-Li and Cammy.
Yes, everybody likes Chun-Li and Cammy pretty well. Although Cammy has all that backlash going on right now about her outfit, which I don't understand. It's like, okay, she was almost completely naked in Street Fighter 2 Turbo Fighting, or Super Turbo. So they covered her up more for Street Fighter 6, and then everybody got upset because they let you play her in her retro outfit. I'm just like, that's part of the game, though. It's like,
yeah,
it's the people who don't actually play the series, they want basically the female sexuality seems like they want erased. It's like, no, we have to cover them up and give them sensible clothes, and we can't have anything that excites people who happen to like femininity, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, they have new characters like Marisha, who's, I mean, yeah, she's jacked beyond belief. She's probably jacked far beyond the capability of a normal woman to sustain that body mass for any length of time, especially with her size. But my biggest complaint with her is not her build, it's her hair. Her hair is stupid looking. That red, weird ass, you know, semi Spartan helm looking.
Yeah, Magneto's helmet.
Yeah, that's just, I'm like, that's dumb, guys. That's just not good character design. And then, you know, the other new characters that they've got, you know, they've got a little Indian girl. I'm like, I'm not going to sexualize this at all. I mean, not in the least. Not even accidentally. This character is not so much offensive to me, except for the fact that her speed is ridiculous for her size.
Are we talking
who?
Kimberly?
No, Kimberly is the black ninja character.
So, because I haven't had a chance to play it yet, so I'm just like not quite sure with the new character. So I figure it's either Kimberly or I think Lily. Lily
is the Mexican Indian chick with the clubs, the tiny one, the 17-year-old. Yeah. Yeah. Kimberly is annoying. I find her mannerisms annoying, and frankly, she's an annoying character, and I don't like her look at all. And then they've got Manon, who is the dancing judo French woman who just looks stupid. I mean, because she does. she just does.
We're just running out of stereotypes for fighters in games.
I guess. I don't know, man. It's like, I feel like there used to be a Capcom fight team, you know, creator or system of creators that used to make really interesting characters. And then as of Street Fighter 4, well, actually, I should say probably as far back as Street Fighter 3, but definitely Street Fighter 4 is like the characters have just started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's just, here we are now with characters that are just, ugh. And it's like, and Capcom keeps wondering, is like, why it is we keep gravitating towards Ryu and Ken. It's kind of like, well, because they're kind of halfway normal. You know, I mean,
we got history.
Well, yeah, they have history, but I mean, it's like, I mean, you know, they're dudes who wear karate gis and, you know, yeah, they throw fireballs and shit, but they still look cool and still seem kind of halfway normal when you compare it to, I don't know, the Turkish oil wrestler with electrodes protruding from his skull. And no, I'm not exaggerating. That was a character from Street Fighter 4. I can't even remember his name. I never played him because he looks stupid.
Does he run his hands down your pants to hold you, though? Like they do in actual oil wrestling?
I don't know. I don't remember. I've managed to block most of that out. Mostly all I remember from Street Fighter 4 was when they introduced Juri, who I can't stand. I hate that character.
She's like all about the feet t-shirt.
I know, and you'd think I'd like her, but her feet are like huge and ugly. It's just kind of like, no, please. Just, no.
she's like the Dami Mommy with the foot thing.
It's like, yeah, she would stomp all over me and I would hate every minute of it. How do you do that?
Wasn't easy.
Congratulations, Capcom. You have actually made me made my fetish turn against me.
Foot fetish aversion therapy.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, just get your ass kicked for 10 solid hours by Juri and totally cure that. Maliki says Ken and Ryu should be the main characters they've been playing with. Yeah, and I think most people consider them to be the main characters, even though Capcom has tried really, really hard to push them back further and further, especially in Street Fighter 6. I mean, they just pretty much they crippled Ken's character with how they portray him, and Ryu is just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to stay here in the back and, try to master smartphone texting.
I must train
to text on smartphone. No, I'm not kidding. But what can I say? Hey, Low Specs, good to see you, Jeff. Go back and we had some really cool comments back here in the comment thing. Let's see.
I mean, it'd be nice if like a couple of the other like prominent fighter series like made a resurgence of their own. I mean, we recently just got Samurai Showdown came back.
And it's good.
I'd like to see a new King of Fighters.
King of Fighters just came out. They had just brought a brand new one out, and it's fun. We're up to 15 or 16. Let me check. I downloaded it not too long ago.
15, huh?
15 or 16, yeah. King of Fighters 15, yeah. And they're dropping the DLCs for it and everything. In fact, you can play Gainitz or Omega Rugal as challenge bosses, and they will totally kick your ass.
Did you say Omega RuPaul?
Omega Rugal.
Okay.
That would be
Omega RuPaul sounds fun too.
Be horrifying. What would she do? Dance you? It doesn't matter what you wear.
Because you're about to wear the size 15 upside your face.
No kidding. Rugal's huge. Aaron arrived and immediately hit like. Thank you, Aaron the Relentless. Mercurius, you haven't played computer games after VIC-20 cartridges? Oh my gosh. What a strange person you are. Aaron, you just dropped 320 on the new Harn World Kickstarter. Yeah, I just got a notification for that today. Yeah, I wanted to back the Harn World Kickstarter, but funding is going to be real tight here now because of circumstances. And something else I should probably point out too. I'm probably not going to stop saying, if you like what you see and everything, please, throw us a super chat, throw us a super sticker. Because honestly, from everything I've been told from all my friends who do YouTube and are fully ad monetized, ad monetization doesn't pay very well on YouTube. So primarily, if you like this channel and you want to keep funding us, super stickers and super chats are the way to go. And YouTube does take its chunk out of those too.
You fund what you want to see. So if you like what you see, help T-shirt out.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah, you fund what you want to see. I mean, if you want to pay for Barbie, go ahead.
Yeah, but of course we do this because we love this as well. So it's not solely gimme. I've always kind of felt weird about that. But I understand people do want to, go and support the people they like.
Yeah. Gap After Dark. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling a little bit.
I understand. Aaron the Relentless says you liked Mortal Kombat when it came out, but quickly cycled out of interest with fighting games entirely, and Street Fighter is lost on you? Oh, I'm sorry, bud. See, I never liked Mortal Kombat. I thought the first one was unique and different, and definitely I was into it because it was all bloody and gory. But I never really liked the fight mechanics. And I absolutely hate hitting a block button. I know that sounds stupid, but I really do. I hate hitting a block button when it feels more natural to pull away in order to block. Just because that was one mechanic I always liked about Street Fighter was the you pull backwards to block. That's intuitive in real fighting. You tend to when you're defending yourself, you do tend to put your hands up and you do tend to set your stance backwards a little bit to receive an incoming hit. Unless, of course, you're getting caught in mid-move or something. But that kind of worked out naturally for me. And so I've always preferred the hold backwards to block instead of push a button to block, which is, I love Soul Calibur, but admittedly, that was one of the hardest elements for me to master in Soul Calibur. That it has a block button.
I think I only played Soul Calibur 2 is now just because Link was in it.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one. That was Soul Calibur 3, actually.
Didn't they have a different exclusive character on each platform?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was Link on GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Heihachi was PS2.
Mm-hmm.
On Xbox.
Yeah, I had Heihachi because obviously I had a PS2, and I was happy because I liked Heihachi. he seems like he belongs in a Soul Calibur game. Samurai Showdown. Samurai Showdown had a lot of DLC characters. I managed to catch them on a sale and managed to get that game for dirt cheap along with all the DLC. So I felt lucky on that one. But of course, it's almost like 2 years out of date, 3 years out of date. You do what you do. You were asked if you would attend Barbie or Oppenheimer at the theater. Your answer was neither. Yeah, I kind of agree. I wouldn't see either one of them. Let's see. Oh, we got some starred comments. So Parrothead sent us a super sticker. I'm sorry, I don't have my thing open. Let me take a look.
It is a gymnastic pair going, cool!
It's a gymnastic parrot?
Pair.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. I like that.
Cool.
Yeah. Das Wolfen says, for $2, it said, here are my few shekels. Well, your shekels are very appreciated. Victor has sent us €2 saying, here, don't spend my Europe money all at once. Say $2. That's a whole cup of coffee, Victor.
If you go to the right gas station.
Mercurius has sent us $2 Australian for here's your pearls. Oh, well, yeah, that'll help me put some Vegemite on my toast.
I can't believe you bought that.
It's a pale imitation of Marmite.
I like Vegemite better than Marmite. And I've tried both.
Too wussy. You'd think an Australian yeast extract would be stronger, but no, they wussed out.
They'd make it with like cobra venom or something.
Yeah, ground in spiders or something.
Silverlock is giving us $9.99. Is giving us a super sticker with a guy with his arms crossed and some shades, looking cool. Oh, it's a controller.
Yes,
very cool. Very cool. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Stun locking is easier than blocking in an original MK anyway. Yeah, it is.
Oh, I was just say I've been kind of back to playing a lot of Guild Wars. That's where I've been spending all my time. Yeah, I'm only at 6,000 hours in that game.
I don't know how many hours I'm into World of Warcraft, but it's
3.
a lot. No.
2.
No.
7.
1.
More like, thousands. Yeah. Oh, Mackany recently made his thoughts known about the MK character Twitter. Tanya's new look, and people came out of the woodwork and attacked him on Twitter. And he's black. You'd think that, he could say what he wanted to, but no, apparently not. I'm not an MK fan, but I did look at original Tanya and I looked at new Tanya and I kind of thought, wow, Robert Zadar wants his jaw back.
Yeah, it's a bit of a I look at him like it does look like a bit of a downgrade for the character design.
Oh, big time. I'm not sure why they decided to go. I mean, isn't she an alien?
I mean, they're probably from Outer Worlds, so
yeah.
Yes.
So why would she, look Africanized or something anyway? It's kind of like you can't make up a random new culture. You got to stereotype an existing one.
Well, you know how a lot of the video game developers get, where anything looks remotely like a particular ethnicity, and then you have to go full bore into that design.
Oh, you mean like how all the characters from Outer World, they're actually from a different dimension, entirely removed from ours, and yet somehow they all manage to look Asian Earth, mostly Chinese?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, okay. I get it, yeah.
Chinese got a lot of help, Jack.
Do better. Do better, guys. Das Wolf is disease.
Trying to find some comparison pictures of Tony. Having a hard time.
It shouldn't be that hard. There's a lot of them out there. Soulblade cinematic sold you. Yeah, that Soulblade cinematic was awesome. I think I listened to that opening song about 50 times. Vegemite is nasty. No, it's not. I mean, if you just ate it just by itself, yeah, it's gonna give you a bad day. But anti-Vegemite prejudice will not be tolerated. Yeah, if you're black and complain about race swapping, you're a bad person. Same thing happened to a guy on Reddit over Arrowwarong. Okay. I think the only Hispanic character I've seen recently that made me kind of go, huh, was the Mexican luchador cook person from Street Fighter 4.
Got him.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should have been offended racially, but at the same time, I kind of thought, well, no, I mean, luchador is kind of cool. Him wanting to be a cook, okay.
I mean, everyone eats.
I mean, yeah, everybody eats. I mean, the thing I thought was offensive about it was the fact that he cooked terrible.
You can either concentrate on your wrestling or your cooking. So,
well, I mean, okay, wrestlers, you got to give wrestlers a little bit of credit because those guys are on the road all the time. So if they're not eating in shitty, places to, out to eat, hurting their health that way, they're probably having to cook in their hotel rooms and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure they've had to manage to learn how to cook something.
I mean, sumo wrestlers can cook.
Yeah, sumo wrestlers can definitely cook. Chanko nabe. I would like a big bowl of chanko nabe.
I gotta look that up now. I don't know what that is.
Chanko nabe?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a vegetable stew type stuff. It's really, really good. Why I always feel more Japanese than anything these days? Probably because I'm watching too much Crunchyroll here lately.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You got a picture? We can show it to everybody. Air on the Relentless says stickers are lame. There, I said it for $20. Okay, for $20, you could say that.
Here, we will reward you with a look at some delicious food.
Yeah, that is chanko nabe, as eaten by sumo wrestlers every day. Look at that. Look at how scrumptious it. Look at those big old button mushrooms and oof, God. I ate not too long ago, but now I'm hungry again.
Just need some absconding barbecue flavor.
You're gonna have to show people the picture of that because they're not gonna understand that joke.
I don't know if I've still got it.
I was pouring some Frank's Red Hot in it.
Oh man. Hail! Immortal Rising Comic Books. It's good to see you, buddy. Speaking of Japanese stuff, let's see. What have I been watching lately? Oh, yeah. Reborn as a Vending Machine. Now I Wander the Dungeon. Got released on Crunchyroll, finally. And we're up to like 3 episodes. And my gosh, that show is every bit as good as I thought it would be.
Grim, you'll never guess what happened in it.
You guess I will. Come on, T-shirt. Have you no self-respect?
What? What?
Reborn as a dungeon vending machine?
Reborn as a vending machine. Now I wander the dungeon. That's the name of the series.
Okay, but that's a really shit premise.
He can only wander as far as his extension cord allows.
Well, he's not powered by an extension cord. He's got his own source of power that refuels internally by people putting coins in his slot and buying stuff from him.
Does he dispense panties? Then it might at least be mildly.
He does dispense panties.
Okay.
He can literally he can change himself into any kind of Japanese vending machine that vends whatever. So yes, he has He has turned into a porn vending machine. He has turned into a panty vending machine, a hair product vending machine, a gum vending machine, as well. And his normal form is he is a hot and cold juice and beverage dispensing machine. So, like, from the very beginning, he's been able to put out like hot bottles of corn soup or tea and water and energy drinks and stuff like. And he could change up what's in there based on his power levels with how much people have put into him. And he has stats and stuff too. His thing is he just can't move. So this super duper strong girl basically like hauls him around everywhere. It's a good show.
It's back to sounding stupid again.
It's you gotta watch it, okay? Don't judge. You gotta watch it.
I'm curious at what point in there Grimm was like, okay, I'll consider this. To have then lost you.
Then back again. You had me at panties, you lost me at everything else.
It's great. It's great. You should totally watch it. That one and gosh, what Campfire Cooking in Another World with my absurd skill is another really good one. You don't know that one either.
I'm the normal one. I'm just watching like One Piece and Knights of the Zodiac.
Okay.
Saint Seiya.
Okay. Well,
I ain't getting Crunchyroll money, so I won't be watching anything.
I just started a new one that's called My Unique Skill Makes Me OP Even at Level 1.
Right.
Why do you keep sounding like that?
This all sounds terrible. The Japanese naming TV series, right? They're like the Germans naming a new machine. They just cram a bunch of descriptive words together and call it a day.
Like Flammenwerfer?
Yes, it werfs Flammens.
It werfs Flammens. Or Nibbelwerfer.
Yes, that werfs Nabels.
It werfs Nebels. What are Nebels? Smoke. Well, I mean...
So the Japanese title for Die Hard was probably Shoeless Man with a Gun or something.
It's probably something like, like shoeless cop crawling through ventilation shafts in a building.
Yes.
On Christmas Eve, I wander through the ventilation shafts of this high rise.
Oh my God, that'd be funny. Yeah, chat. By the way, if you can give us some funny Japanese, titles, isekai titles, that would be hilarious. I'll read them out online.
For Western films.
Yes, Mercurius. Yes, there was an episode of Vending Machine where they used Coke and Mentos as a weapon. I'm serious. Yes, he had to vend Coke and Mentos, and people were using that as a weapon. You have to watch it. It's episode 2.
I'll stick to Goblin Slayer.
Disciple of Logos, you ran Carbon 2185 at a one-shot at a local gaming shop. Oh, cool. I was going to talk about Carbon 2185 because they just sent me some books.
Oh, so isn't it currently on sale too?
It is. Yes. They are moving studios. I don't know where they're moving to, but yeah, if you get up on Carbon's website, they are selling the PDFs for half price, but the real treat is getting the rule books. The rule books are $30 a piece. And normally they're like a $50 rule book. I was going to buy a bunch of those, but the shipping is actually murderous, like criminal murderous.
All right, let me go calculate this for myself.
Yeah. But I just so happen to have one because I bought an extra rule book. I already had the nice black colored one. But as you can see, that's a thick boy right there. That is many pages of book. And keep in mind, this one is...
That's a $20 shipping.
Yeah, the shipping is murderous, but but I guess if you order enough of them, it's worth it. Yeah, this is like a 290 page book. So for $30, it's quite a steal. However, yeah, because the shipping is so murderous, I would honestly get you a whole table's worth and maybe get your whole table to pay for them. Because at $30 a piece, if it's something you're going to want to play a lot, definitely it's worth it. And I can say that it's worth playing. I hate to throw shade on our favorite Cyberpunk franchise because, I worship at the altar of Mike Pondsmith as far as the Cyberpunk lore goes. And as far as Cyberpunk 2020. But definitely after seeing Cyberpunk Red in action recently, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the rules are kind of shit now.
I see. It's my fault.
Well, after watching you guys try to fumble for a rule for like 10 minutes, I was like, okay, this is not good when when you can't find a rule this quick and you have an experienced GM.
Yeah, being an experienced GM is actually hindering me when it comes to Cyberpunk because I've played it since Black Box 2013 edition. And so my brain gets conflicted which rule, which edition, because there were two versions of 2020 as well, which was slightly different. It's, yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. But what is nice about Carbon versus Cyberpunk, it is a level-based system. I think they both are.
Boo. Boo.
Okay, Grim does not like that it's a level-based system. The hit points don't tend to go as high in Carbon. Although, at higher levels, of course, they can be pretty good, but still, they're within manageable levels because your gun damage is pretty high. So it kind of balances out. I mean, just to give you an example, a sniper rifle in Carbon does about 3d12 damage. So it's that give most people some pause getting hit by that thing multiple times. Yeah.
So it turns people into fairies.
Yes, totally. It has synths in it, which is definitely a Cyberpunk trope that I keep feeling like Pondsmith missed out on in the first Cyberpunk. And even to that extent, I would say that the great Godfather, William Gibson himself kind of missed out on that as well. But I don't know why it is that people overlooked synthetic creations as a Cyberpunk trope, It's like Blade Runner was actually before all those, and of course you would have to say Android's Dream of Electric Sheep was even before that, and I think that's why.
I think that's why wanting to avoid just being Blade Runner, and then the AI in Gibson's work, the one that emerges during Neuromancer, is a sort of kind of hard takeoff singularity that requires pretty much the entire net to exist. So having smaller AIs didn't feel possible at the time, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you get full board conversions in Cyberpunk later on, but that's as close as you're going to get, I think.
Yeah. Well, I might as well go ahead and show these off because I just got these. And these were part of the Kickstarter that I backed several years ago, and they finally came through. But it's been a long, hard road, and we had the Chinese virus of unspecified origin.
It's nice when you get something you've forgotten about, though. It's like a present.
Yeah, I was looking over my Kickstarters today, and I have stuff that I ordered like 6 or 7 years ago that still hasn't fulfilled, but they keep promising me that they're going to do it.
A younger me bought this for me. He would have wanted me to have this.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the KHMA catalog, or KHMA, yeah, for Carbon 2185. It's an equipment book. It's actually pretty good. I hate to say it, but it actually probably seems to be better than the recent Cyberpunk equipment book. But
so,
you know,
as far as an equipment book goes, though, what's it like for, say, adding kind of flavor to the world in which it is, like having different, say, brands of guns, having like, say, brand like guns from like different manufacturers doing different things, even though they might both be a handgun, for example.
Okay. Most systems I've seen, and yeah, Carbon included, Cyberpunk included, that stuff is flavor, but it doesn't really do anything as far as the mechanics go. And this is true for Cyberpunk 2077 for the most part, too. Most people are just looking at the damage. So if you get a big handgun, it's because it has more damage than other big handgun. It's not because it does something different than other handgun. And maybe I should put out a supplement to fix that someday. But
it still is nice to have for kind of adding flavor to the world. I mean, didn't Cyberpunk 2020 do that?
Yeah, but I don't think their guns did all that much different stuff from gun to gun either, did they? Grim?
You would know better than I would. I'm vaguely aware of it.
All the different guns, like from Militech or from Arasoc or whatever like that, they had different flavors, but they didn't actually do anything different. I mean, it was just different breeds of damage or different damages.
There was more fidelity to the damage. So in Cyberpunk 2020, guns did, D6s or D10s. D10s was reserved for like the anti-material rifles and things like that. But there would also be plus numbers or minus numbers. Auto fire worked differently for different weapons because they had different rates of fire. Weapon accuracy was more of a thing than it is in Cyberpunk Red, varying from I think -2 through to +3. How much ammo capacity your gun had actually mattered, things like that, and the modifications that you built onto the gun did make a difference. It wasn't hugely high fidelity, but it was better than what we have now. I mean, now most of the time a gun is a gun is a gun if it's of a particular type, unfortunately.
Yeah. And this pretty much follows the same thing. I mean, it's a pretty basic equipment book. I'm going to talk more about this on one of my things, but, it does damage. It's pretty much what it boils down to. How much damage does it do? How far does it go? Deluxe sniper rifle, 3x12 ballistic, automatic shotgun, 3x8 ballistic. Sometimes they have different properties and stuff like that, but it's not as if like an KHMA gun does something specific versus, some other type of gun. And that is something I think I would like to see in more cyberpunk style stuff, because that would be a cool flavor. Because, it's like now it's really cool to have, this type of pistol because it does this kind of damage. And that's something that I think I first saw implemented in, what is that first-person shooter series by Gearbox? The famous one? The one that they're really known for? Borderlands.
Oh, that, yeah. I was thinking...
No, Borderlands, all the different guns from all the different manufacturers tended to operate differently. But they could do that because pretty much those games, the Borderland games, are gun porn, the video game. I mean, would anybody disagree with me on that?
Well, I mean, it's sort of the quintessential looter shooter.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The other book I got was this Terminal Overdrive, which is it's a mission book. It does include a new playable race in it. But that is one good thing I can say about Carbon as a system as a whole. is they have continued to bring out lots and lots of adventures to support their world. And their world, while it kind of feels surface level, it feels similar to Cyberpunk. I think it's different enough to kind of stand on its own. And worst case scenario, you can file the serial numbers off of Carbon and just use Night City and all of your existing Cyberpunk stuff as a replacement by playing Carbon. You know, just play using the Carbon rules. Just use all the setting as Night City. You know, change all the gun names instead of KHMA to Arasaka or Militech or Kang Tao or whoever. You know, just do your own thing, man.
Isn't it going to suffer from the same problems that Cyberpunk Red does, though? The bullet sponge effect from hit points and all of that. It's not going to get you away from those issues.
Yeah, I mean the hit points aren't as high in Carbon overall. The levels don't go as high either. So there is still going to be a little bit of a bullet sponge effect, but I've noticed it less in Carbon than I have in Cyberpunk.
How's the armor work?
It's pretty much it's just like regular D&D AC. It's a 2-hit mechanism. It's not a damage stopping mechanism.
Boo again.
But of course you can always load up with rounds that punch through armor and all that. So or rounds that do more damage. But
so it's ultimately a matter of you to be able to have more variety. You have to effectively increase the numbers. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of overcomplication. Ultimately,
well, you know,
yeah, that's the problem though. You want these decisions to mean something, but that just you need to get a higher fidelity system in order to do so. So you end up expanding the numbers. And like what dice you roll and so on. It's like something like a percentile system like BRP. There's a lot more scope to get little bonuses and little penalties here and there to fine tune your gun to the way it suits you and have it mean something in the game. So
well, you could always try something like having different. If we're using the same gun idea, different companies give you benefits on different things. So, for example, maybe one company's the damage they deal like increases the floor. So if it's like a 1d6, you're say a 1d6 minimum 2.
Yeah, there's other ways to do it. Another thing you can do is to give weapons like keywords, so that if a keyword is applicable in a particular situation, then you can spend some sort of resource to access it, like a fate point or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. That's an idea. David Gwill says, I like DR for armor better than AC, and it's really easy to do. It is. My problem with DR, and I have experience with this, is that it tends to amplify the bullet spongy effect by reducing damage or nullifying damage completely, unless you make it leaky DR. But that's the thing. It's like what it kind of boils down to is, are your hit points high? Are your hit points low? If your hit points are low, then everything dies faster, so it makes every impact of your weapon seem more significant than it is. It also makes DR more valuable than it is in, say, like a Dungeons and Dragons game where a high AC can mitigate before you even get a chance to get hit. And also high hit points make bullet sponges. Yeah. But if your hit points are low, characters are dying faster. Because, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
And then you can get weapons can get armor penetration and set it up so you roll really high, it bypasses armor. Yeah, you can do that. We had stuff like that in 3.0. Of course, a lot of DR had stuff that bypassed it, which you would see, semi-frequently in games, depending on what you played. But, of course, that adds another layer of complication to it. The main thing, I think, is just kind of like, are your hit points high or are your hit points low? If your hit points are high, the characters survive longer, but it makes all combat drag out longer because if your character's hit points are higher, your bad guys' hit points are going to be higher too.
There was that D20 version of Star Wars that had health and vitality separately, which kind of helped with the way in which hit points are typically abstracted. So you say, oh, it's you rolling with the blow, it's your combat experience. Things like that doesn't really work. But when you ran out of vitality, it would start eating into your actual hit points, which were much lower, and critical hits would go straight onto your hit points. I kind of tried to do something similar in Grimdark to deal with the issue in that you have morale and hit points.
Yeah. Aaron's got a good idea here, where it has DR reduces the die size of your type of attack rather than the value of the damage roll. In a low hit point system, that would be even better than a set damage stopping from DR.
That might be something to try out for just like a random one shot. Just kind of throw together some basic rules for trying it out.
Yeah, I agree. I still have not really found anything that really beats the the Crawford Matrix system, just because what it lets me do is it still lets me deal enough damage to the players to threaten them or even incapacitate them. But it also lets players feel like significantly better characters as they fight, because they can engage large numbers of enemies and win, and it makes them seemingly more heroic. I mean, I don't know. You two guys have both played under my system, so I mean, what do you guys think?
It fits for the kind of quasi-Asian sort of martial arts type thing that we were playing. I don't know if it would fit a more sort of gritty, normal dungeon bash sort of thing. I think it might be a bit more immersion breaking there.
Well, I mean, you've experienced it in Darwin's World, so.
I mean, I think there's something to that, though, kind of building on what we were talking about earlier, to have different weapons fitting into different dice types that then get a different keyword to it. That way you can kind of get the best of both worlds there to have something to kind of really fine tune in what you want.
I mean, in Darwin's World, as we're playing it, it does keep the combat faster and more deadly in a lot of ways, which feels right with modern firearms and so on. So it certainly helps there.
David, you say you could show me what you're doing in Delvers 2E as well as notes and such. Hey, I would love to see it, David. I would. I'm a big fan of Dungeons and Delvers. I need to run it, but yeah,
I got this.
Yeah, you got Dragon. I saw your video for that before I came on
cool
today.
Where the green screen's showing through. Actually, you can see the dragon nicely.
Yeah, that does look cool.
It's almost like they planned for this.
Yeah, I think it's a great starter game. If you've got kids, you want to get into role playing, I'd get that and run it for them.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different ways you can go with it. I kind of continue to be kind of the disciple of Crawford, as it were. But I can't help it. It's just I honestly haven't found anything better, because it's like I always come back to the same problem. It's either like hit points too low, players die too quick. Hit points too high, combat go on forever.
Have you heard of Jeremy Crawford?
Yeah. Have you heard the good word of Jeremy Crawford? My friend is running on my regular Thursday night game that I play with my friends. He is running kind of an alternate hit point system where hit points are very high for everybody. And I'm equipped with a weapon that does 6d6 damage. You would think that would be significant enough to put most average people down. My character has like 32 hit points, probably a little bit more than 32 hit points. And as I constantly point out to him, it's like, if I shot myself for maximum damage, I would almost, if it didn't kill me outright. It would almost kill me outright. And I'm level 3. If I'm shooting these level 1 mooks, this kind of damage should be putting them down in one hit. But because of your hit point system, it's, you know, it's made the hit points so distortedly high that they're able to absorb hits from this thing and survive them. And it's like, and they shouldn't be.
You're still stabbing the first goblin you ever encountered, and you hit him like 300 times and he's still not dead.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know, I'm sitting here, you know, shooting this guy, and it's just like, I'm doing 6 dice 6 per hit. Now, not every single hit is doing massive amounts of damage, but still, I'm averaging at least like 11 to 12 damage per hit. That's enough to make most people go, you know, and it makes most first levels die instantly. So, especially like a first level normal, you know. Hi, I'm Joe the baker. I rolled a D8 for hit points because I only have 1 hit dice. I'm a level 1 baker. You just shot me with your 6 dice 6 super magnum. So who am I gonna write my will out for my next of kin?
I have 2 health. Is this a little over excessive?
Exactly. It should be, but I don't know, man. Wound level systems seem to be good too, but my problem with wound level systems is it tends to have the death spiral effect. And this probably sounds wimpy, but from a player, I have to look at everything from a player's perspective as well as a DM's perspective. From a player's perspective, once you start death spiraling, it really starts to feel hopeless in combat. Unless you've got some kind of source of really fast healing that can bring you out of that quickly, you know, you either have to get extremely lucky and kill the other guys on your next couple of hits, or you're probably gonna die.
Or get captured.
Or get captured, yes. Or get captured.
Bring backups.
Yeah. I don't know. I always feel bad telling my players, I hope you're ready to get captured a lot. Ecliptic. Has anyone tried the Cities of Without Number betas? Yes, I have the City Without Number beta, and I am currently playing a house game of Worlds Without Number using Cities Without Numbers stuff in it. Specifically their cybernetic system, which I really love that. I think Crawford really lucked into something. Well, lucked. He really designed something wonderful into his games when he put in system strain. Because system strain is a really good arbiter for how far your character can go. You can only heal so much before your system strain can't handle it anymore. You can only take so much cybernetics before your system strain is reduced to where you can't do it anymore. You know, you can only expend so much energy before your system strain is gone. That is a really good mechanic, and in a lot of ways I feel like it picks up the shortfall for where hit points tend to fail. With a system strain number, I feel like I can have lower hit points in a game because I have system strain to help back it up.
There was an article in an old White Wolf magazine where they had actually got the kind of medical statistics on combat wounds and things. And the usual result, if you're shot or stabbed or whatever, is either you're fine, you're down and out of the fight, or you're dead. Those are the 3 outcomes when you get wounded normally. At least while the adrenaline's pumping. The trouble with the hit point systems is that you have that bar that goes down. It's not each individual wound that you're considering. So you end up with this kind of whittling down. Heavy Gear, the silhouette system, you had like a health rating, and it existed at multiples. and armor would boost up that rating. And then when you were hit, you would compare the damage to that rating, and that would determine whether you took like a superficial wound, a real wound, or a really bad wound, and that would reduce the levels, making you easier to wound later on. That worked quite well and scaled to vehicles and things.
Yeah. Aaron says, yeah, t-shirts explaining why hit points suck, but are still the best form of wounds. Unfortunately, yeah, that's my problem, is I haven't really found a better way of doing it. I think this is the biggest problem I have, Aaron. There are things I've toyed with, like giving all weapons a set damage and everybody getting a set hit point amount based on, class and level and all that stuff. So then you could kind of gamify it a little bit more. It's kind of like, okay, I know the other guy's got 5, can only take 5 points of damage. My gun always does 3. So I know I can kill him in 2 hits, kind of thing. There's a lot of systems. When I find a perfect one, I'll let you know. But, David, you said you've tested wound levels and you liked it really well. Your issue is how healing magic works, which is why you like wound levels, because it's easier to track penalties from injury. Yeah, I would imagine so. With hit points, you have to track like a penalty at half. Yeah, that is what I also came up with hit points as well. It's like after a certain point, in order to make hit points significant, is you have to incur a penalty. But then, of course, we end up with the death spiral effect again.
Yeah, Bloodied wasn't too bad. That's one of the few good things about 4th edition, I think. Especially because while you took a penalty when you were bloodied, it also unlocked powers and abilities.
Yeah, there is that. I do kind of think there needs to be some more abilities and stuff like that happen at lower damages. Like, I've been seeing it more and more in video games, but powers that you can unlock as you play are things like, at half hit points, you either start regenerating hit points, or at half hit points, you deal 50% more damage. Things like that. I think if you have some kind of hit point system in play, but you're also using some kind of system like that where something definitive happens every time you hit a lowered amount of hit points, then it kind of makes hit points more significant, because you can, even if you're death spiraling, you have a chance of coming back from it.
Well, you could have combat generate a resource that you can then cash in for benefits.
Violence, you say, what's wrong with the death spiral? It gives a very good indication of when to run the F away. Okay. Well, here's my problem, Violence.
If you start getting a penalty to losing health, like your attacks start dealing less damage, or it becomes harder to hit, you're making it more and more likely you're going to fail.
There's that, but also most parties won't run away. And I'm just being serious here. They won't. You do occasionally have the group that is savvy enough to play it realistically and survival mode enough to where they will be cautious, where they will run if they don't think they can win and stuff like that. But my experience in playing with pickup groups and with regular groups is they won't run away. They won't back down. They won't, they expect their healing to cover all of their stuff. And I don't know where this mentality came from, which edition did this or what, but it really feels like most of your parties will stand and fight to the bitter end instead of running.
Sounds like a learning opportunity.
Yeah, you could say that, but most of the time it just ends up with a bunch of players who are hurt. I mean, like at you, the GM, because somehow it's your fault that their characters all died or went down. And that, that's just been my experience. It's happened over and over and over.
Yeah, it's a change in the culture.
Yeah. and it's not a recent one. I've seen this happen over the last God, when did I first start seeing it? 1991. So yeah, it's not recent.
When I first started running into it,
32 years ago. Yeah, shit, that was a long time ago.
You mean it wasn't 20 years ago?
It was over 20 years ago.
so there was I think it goes back earlier. I think it goes back to Dragonlance. There was a big shift then towards narrative and story-led gaming.
Yeah.
Even if the systems weren't there to catch up to it. And people seem to get a lot more invested in their characters then. I think that's when you started to see the difference.
Yeah,
I mean,
David. No.
I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it. But.
Yeah, wound point versus vitality point damage. Yeah, I could see that. Tracking different types of damages. We had something like that back in the early days. We had a system where you could take different kinds of damage, and it would heal at different rates too. Like let's say you got burned with acid or fire. Not only did it do a certain amount of damage, but it also took it took 5 points of normal healing to heal back 1 point of whatever this burn damage or acid damage was. So you didn't want to get burned because it would require more of your healing to heal it back.
It's always been a bit of a pain in the ass keeping track of different kinds of damage, though, like subdual damage, lethal damage, aggravated damage.
Yeah. There's just not a good system. I mean, unless it's automated, I think. Ironcaster, I can see some things on your mind.
Oh, no, I was just thinking, I was just trying to think of the best way to bring up that I'm gonna have to bounce.
Oh, that you gotta go?
That seems like a good way.
That seems like a good way. Yeah, I know you gotta go.
Which means we're inevitably going to be stuck in an RPG talk spiral now.
I've got some things to break us out of that, but it does suddenly feel like Tuesday now.
Yeah. Howard the Duck's 50 years old.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And you can play a duck in Dragonbane, so...
There you go. Yeah. Howard the Duck was created by Steve Gerber, who is no longer with us. He passed away in 2011, I think. But he was a great guy. If you can go back and get like a omnibus of Howard the Duck, I totally recommend it because that character and those books were so well written. I think Steve Gerber was pretty much magic with everything that he touched. And he was involved with a lot of big people. He wrote on the Thundar the Barbarian show. He did various other comic books like Omega the Unknown. Anything you look back on and you look into Steve Gerber's work, it's usually pretty good stuff.
And Howard the Duck was pretty edgy, actually.
It kind of was. I don't know if you could do Howard the Duck now.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Marvel would do Howard the Duck anymore. And I think the movie kind of killed it.
Yeah, unfortunately. Speaking of movies,
there aren't going to be any.
There aren't going to be a whole lot. No. Well, but before we get into this, I want to mention really quick. If you are a fan of Exalted Funeral, then they haven't upset you yet for various reasons. I wanted to point out that the Endless Summoner free RPG sale is going on right now. So you can get a free RPG 5 PDF bundle for $0. And they have a whole bunch of free swag that you can pick up from their website. So this is a good chance to go through their stuff and look at what a lot of indie creators are making. And you can find some really cool stuff. Yeah. Well, there is that. But I've always found Exalted Funeral usually had like a few really interesting things on it to pick up. For example, Levi Combs from Planet X Games. I found out about him through Exalted Funeral. I found out about some other stuff like Ultraviolet. What was it? Ultraviolet Garden or something? Ultraviolet something was. I got it through there. It was so memorable, I forgot. What does that say about me?
And yes, Tapani, that is my fan. You can hear squeaking in the background.
Yes, that's Grimm's fan.
I only have one.
Grasslands. That's it. Yes, Ultraviolet Grasslands. Thank you, Maliki. Yes. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. I'm so glad we have you guys as chat. Yes, Ultraviolet Grasslands, which was actually kind of cool. He also did it. There were also a few other things that came through Exalted Funeral. Minimalist trash. Well, I mean, I mean, there should be more there, but
make us a maximalist game called Infrared Mangrove Swamp, then, Aaron.
Ew. Oh, you got 2.0 waiting at your friendly local game store? Okay. I haven't gotten 2.0 yet. I have the first one. But let's see. So anyway, there is that. There is also a list of productions that are impacted by the 2023 Writers Guild of America strike to talk about. There's also the fact that Twitter turned into X this week. Boy, did that throw me.
We've all got a crazy X.
We do. And I mean, like, I guess we can't call it Twitter anymore. We have to call it X.
Twix?
I don't know. It seems pornographic now for some reason.
Yeah, it was banned in Indonesia, I think, for a while because it was X. And that tripped their adult censorship.
Oh, I bet. Not to mention the logo is about as lackluster as it gets. I mean, literally, it's just a big X. I mean, okay. What can you say? I mean,
yeah. Well, the X is meant to stand in for anything, like it does in algebra and shit. So he wants to turn it into
solve for
like
X.
Well, yeah, he wants to turn Twitter into his equivalent of, was it WeChat in China, where you do everything through one app.
Well, that would be nice. If we could stream through it and make money, I probably would. But so far, that's not very good. The one thing that annoyed me, I found out this week, is that X, or Twitter as it were, limits the number of posts not only you can make publicly, but also privately. So you can't send as many private messages to people because it will cut you off after a certain time.
And it limits how many you can see, though they seem to have relaxed the limits somewhat.
Well, I hope so. I really don't know that I want to pay $8 for that service, especially when it's a service that I only have to say the wrong thing and get banned off of.
See, that's part of the fun.
Yeah, because then it's I'm trying to guess what it is that I said wrong. I have a friend who actually got yeeted off that platform because he said the wrong thing. And yet I've seen professional comedians like Seth Rogen say very similar, if not more offensive things, and nothing ever happens to him.
Yeah.
So,
and it hasn't gotten much better.
Yeah. I noticed the chat is talking about the new Futurama series. I do need to check that out. I am kind of going to miss Bill, oh God, what was his name? The guy who got taken off of there? He got canceled off, the guy who was playing Bender? It's not the same guy anymore, is it? It's not Phil Lamar. It's not Billy West. It's
John DiMaggio.
Yeah, John DiMaggio. Yeah, they kicked John DiMaggio off. So kind of like
want too much money.
No, he apparently he said wrong thing. Oh, John DiMaggio is back voicing Bender. He is. Okay, well, hell, now I gotta watch. Okay.
No, it was about money. He wanted too much money.
Oh, okay. And John DiMaggio got sorted. Okay, good. Thanks. Thank you, guys. I totally never would have watched it without that. So now I will have to check it. So that'll be something else. And that along with Justified Primeval City, that's keeping me interested in Hulu after Mayans ended. Sadly. Badly.
Very few things seem able to stick the landing.
No, not really. I don't get it. But anyway, I thought we would take a look at this. This might be fun. This is from the Wikipedia. This is the list of productions that are impacted by the 2023 Writers Guild of America strike. Well, let's see. The 16th Television Academy Honors canceled. I don't care. TCA. Let's just skip the awards. Does anybody even watch those?
No.
So films, Avatar 3 and 4 and 5, all pushed to December of the next few. I don't care about Avatar. Do you?
I still haven't seen the second one. I want to just for the spectacle, but otherwise I'm not bothered.
I mean, I heard what the plot was for Avatar 2, and I said, no, that sounds stupid. Avengers Secret War got pushed to 2027. Well, I mean, who was going to be in it?
Yeah, it's optimistic anyway, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they got rid of Captain America, sort of. They kind of got rid of Thor. They got rid of all their main characters, and they replaced them all with those terrible characters from Phase 4 that nobody likes. So, yeah. The Kang Dynasty, yeah, that got pushed. I don't think that got pushed because of the writer strike. I think that got pushed because of the Kang actor. Batman Part 2. I still haven't seen the first one. Everybody said the first one was good.
It was good. Not breathtaking, but it was all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Blade. Okay, my understanding is it wasn't because of the writer strike. My understanding was that was because the main actor was having a hissy fit about everything.
Yeah.
Captain America Brave New World. Yeah.
Don't know anything about it.
Challengers, as in Challengers of the Unknown? I don't know. Community the movie.
Of the fucking impossible.
I guess. Community the movie, don't care. El Muerto, release date delayed indefinitely. Guess I have to know more about that. Fantastic Four, premiere pushed. Okay. I mean,
they've never really done them justice. I mean, those first cheesy films are a fun watch if there's nothing else on. But
I thought Rise of the Silver Surfer was going to be good because they kept talking about Galactus, and I thought, ooh, they're going to build up to a third movie with Galactus, and they're going to see the full giant Galactus.
Yeah, but no.
And no, instead we got this cloud thing. And
yeah.
That was dumb. Freaky Friday 2, I don't care. Good Fortune, I don't know anything about it. It's by the CW, it's probably not good. There are so many films titled The Island at this point is that even a good title anymore?
Should be The Island of something or someone.
Yeah. It Ends With Us. John Mulaney, yeah. Poor Things by Disney. Problemista. Still a Michael J. That sounds sad. Strays. Don't know much about it. Superman Legacy with James Gunn. Considering the track record for the DCU, I mean,
yeah.
Supposedly Gunn is going to have it back on track, but
the second Suicide Squad film was good.
Yeah.
I think he's got kind of Joss Whedon syndrome.
I hope not.
He wants to make every single thing he does the same way, and it'll wear thin after a while.
Yeah, Peacemaker was funny as hell. The first episode of Peacemaker, I fell out of my chair laughing so hard at the fight he had with the hooker. But Thunderbolts, presumably
that's Marvel Suicide Squad, basically.
Yeah, but in the comic book, Thunderbolts, Punisher was in it. And considering what the Punisher is like in the comic books right now,
yeah,
I can't get excited about that. And nothing Disney is exciting. Transformers 1, well,
me.
I like the Transformers. I haven't seen Beast Wars yet. I want to.
Only Bumblebee was good.
Bumblebee was real good. Trap. Okay. Is it? It's how many different ways can we take this name?
Many.
Twisters. So this is a sequel to Twister?
Maybe.
Did we need this movie? Is that really what this is? It is. It's a new chapter of the... did we need this movie? We don't need this movie. I don't care.
No, it's too late to do a sequel.
A Dirty Dancing sequel. Even worse.
Filthy Dancing?
Yeah, even Dirtier Dancing is like, hello, yeah. The main actress,
Just call it fucking.
Yeah. An untitled No Way Home sequel. Okay, well, we have some hope there because the last Spider-Man was so good. So, okay. An untitled Star Wars film? No. Another untitled Star Wars film? No.
No.
Star Wars is dead. Unstoppable. Whitebird premiere delayed until what is this about? American war drama. It's okay. Television. I think there's going to be even less of these I care about.
There's going to be too many.
Yeah. Oh boy, Andor season 2. Yeah, I don't care. Bel Air season 3. This is a reimagining of the Fresh Prince. Does anybody watch this show? I guess so if it got 3 seasons, but Blade Runner 2099 on Prime.
Could be okay, but Amazon don't exactly have a good track record.
No, I love the Blade Runner franchise, but okay, so maybe we're getting a little hurt there. The Boys season 4. I don't know. That 3rd season was. Let's move on.
There's going to be too many TV series to go through, I think.
Citadel season. Nah, nobody watched it. Cobra Kai season 6. Okay, that hurts. I like Cobra Kai. Daredevil Born Again production shut down repeatedly due to picketing before being suspended. Okay, well, from everything I've heard, that's going to be terrible anyway. Equalizer season 4. That's what Queen Latifah, ain't it? I didn't watch the first. Yeah, who cares? Family Guy, and didn't watch that. It's lowbrow humor. Handmaid's Tale season 6, writing suspended. Hey, something good came out of it. I watched the first 2 seasons of Handmaid's Tale. Grim, I've never felt like a bigger piece of shit for being born a man than I have when I watched those 2 seasons.
Oh, you're not a crust fascist, though, are you? So I don't think. No, people like you and me, we'd be exiled to Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought of myself as a bad human being, and I've never been bad to women, like any of these people were. But I was filled with so much self-loathing after watching 2 seasons of it that I seriously wanted to go and walk in front of a train or something. It's just
the thing is the whole thing is predicated on this huge fertility crisis, right?
Yeah.
And so extreme responses seem likely, but why wouldn't you just do mass in vitro fertilization?
Mm-hmm. Or even cloning,
Yeah. I mean, the technology isn't that. It's basically now in that series, but yeah.
Knight of Seven Kingdoms had a series of fantasy novellas by George R.R. Martin that follow the adventures of Duncan Egg. Okay. Last of Us Season 2 premiere delayed. Well, okay. I mean, the first season was okay. I mean, I didn't... It seemed all right. I mean, there were a lot of touches from the video game that were nice, but if what's going to happen in Season 2 we know is going to happen in Season 2, then I don't want to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to watch Joel get his head bashed in. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Oh, yay! There is a god! Look, Grim, it's proof positive to your atheistic self. There is actually a deity. Even God does not want Season 2 to go forward.
I don't know. I think maybe God set the Rings of Power on us as punishment for some evil transgression.
I guess so.
So this is all down to Satan. So hail Satan.
Oh no. Lord Baphomet's gonna, want to claim this one as a victory for him, Mandalorian.
NCIS will never end, though I stopped watching it once Polly Perrette got canned from it.
I think a lot of people did. I think she was a bigger draw than they expected.
Yeah.
But Mandalorian Season 4, I don't care. That third season was so bad.
Yeah.
They
found a way to fuck it up.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean, well, if we have a cow, let's put it through the squeezer machine until there's nothing left of it.
Yep.
Old Man Season 2. That was actually, the first season was good. That fight scene between Jeff Bridges and that agent was just like some textbook beautiful ground grappling.
I've not even heard of that. What is it?
Okay, Jeff Bridges is this ex high level. I don't want to say he's a CIA operative, but he's like not a terrorist, but he's a something. And he's kind of gone into retirement / laying low, hiding from the government type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they find out about his existence and they want to terminate him. So basically you're looking at a guy who's, a septuagenarian, fighting off, trained CIA guys and everything else in the most clever ways possible.
So it's basically Red.
Yeah, but with one character as the protagonist, and
well, Red was originally a comic book, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's worth it. I mean, check out Season 1, see what you think. If it's too, admittedly, the first episode is probably the best. Every episode after that kind of devolves into lots of talky.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, the first episode kind of, brought us in with some really nice hardcore action. So, I don't know.
So probably
Hopefully
the last episode will have more action again.
Well, yeah. it wasn't bad. It was good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I would watch the second season of it. Outlander season 8. That's I've kind of kept up with that, but I've kind of lost track of it a little bit, so I need to catch up with it. So this just gives me time to catch up with it. It's an interesting series. The history is all over the place. Peacemaker season 2. Okay, well, I just was talking about how good Peacemaker season 1 was, so that's sad. The Penguin? No. Well, it's for Max. It might be good. I would actually have hope for that one. I think. I would actually have hope for that. Rick and Morty. Oh no. Oh no. Writing partially completed. Well, that doesn't mean much if they're not going to release it. The Sandman season 2. No.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman was just posting something about that.
Yeah, the little bit I saw of season 1 made me go no.
I quite liked it.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't 100% true, but it was close enough.
Well, the whole fight between him and Lucifer was kind of. It reads really good on the comic book panel, but when you hear them and see them in a show doing it, it sounds stupid. I am nihilistic chaos, eating everything, including your mother.
Well, they are, pretentious god beings, so...
Okay, well...
I don't know. It was fine.
Okay, well, maybe I'll go back and give it a watch. I mean, Strange New Worlds, Star Trek's dead. I'm just going to move on past it.
People keep telling me Strange New Worlds is closest to the spirit of old Trek, so I keep meaning to give it a go, but it's on Paramount, which we get free with our satellite subscription. We just keep forgetting it's there.
Same. Well, I don't want to. I want to get Paramount Plus because now it actually has 2 shows I want to see. But we'll get to those. Stranger Things season 5 is that's unfortunate. But Superman and Lois, I didn't watch that. SWAT delayed. Tulsa King season 2. Oh, now see, that's a good show. The first one was really fun. And it ended on a cliffhanger. I'm kind of like, please don't do that. Walker, I haven't watched that at all. I guess it's good if they're into 4 seasons of it. White Lotus. Oh, no, nothing for me. Wonder Man. They're actually going to make a Wonder Man series now?
Well, maybe not.
Yellow Jacket season 3. I have not seen season 2 yet, so this gives me time to catch up. I guess that's it. We're not going to do talk shows and television programs, and so
I heard they're casting Henry Cavill as Captain Britain.
That would be cool.
Which could be interesting. But I think Marvel's pretty much fucked at this point. But
I do too. Let's see what Deadpool 3 screenplay completed prior, production suspended. I don't know, considering how bad the second one was. Gladiator 2. Did we need this as a movie?
No.
We don't need this. Why, Hollywood? We don't need a sequel to this. Just like Good Burger 2. We don't need a sequel. The first one was fine.
Deadpool could be okay if they go back to an R rating.
Yeah. Mission Impossible, another quest for more money. Mortal Kombat 2. I haven't seen Mortal Kombat 1. So
I loved the old one, the first one.
Yeah, the original one was great. An Ocean's 11 prequel. Why do we need this? Venom, Let There Be Carnage sequel. I hadn't watched the second one, so
it was okay.
Yeah.
The Venom films are better than they have any right to be, but they're still not great.
Oh, an Alien series on FX, Hulu. Considering what they did with Predator, no.
And given the way that the Alien franchise has gone in recent years as well.
Yeah. American Horror Stories, I could kind of leave those. Black Mirror season 6. Oh, I haven't caught the latest one, so.
But Charlie Brooker's British. He doesn't have to follow your union rules. We have our own unions.
Well, it says production was completed prior to the strike, so.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no big deal. Doctor Who. Dune: The Sisterhood. I mean, call me crazy, but I honestly think Dune would have been perfect if they had brought that out as a HBO Max series. I mean, with full nudity and the ability to go as deeply into the book as they should have. You know? Because the sci-fi series had really good bones. It was a good show, and it really tried to be faithful to the book. And it had a mini-series format, so it was long enough that you could, it made sense of the book. But it's just the production values on it were, sci-fi. So I think Max could do a good job of it. Fear the Walking Dead. Well, that hurts because I like Fear the Walking Dead. So
it pretty much jumped the shark with the nukes, though.
Yeah. Good Omens season 2. Well, that's already out now, so we can watch that. House of the Dragon season 2. Filming commenced prior to strike. It's a UK-based production. Contracts are with UK-based Actors Equity Union, which does not allow their members to strike.
Yeah. So mixed feelings about that one.
I like the first season.
No, I mean about the not allowing their members to strike.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sure that kind of gets your ire up a little bit.
Yeah.
Interview with the Vampire season 2. This thing got a season 2. I heard the first one was so stupid. Walking Dead City. I need to watch that. But, well, apparently the series premiere was unaffected. So, I guess I can. Witcher season 3. Production complete prior to...
I have to wait for the Walking Dead series to all become free on Prime. I ain't paying.
Yeah, so there we go. So roll back a little bit.
Well,
so the only thing...
You closed the share, so...
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
We were kind of done with that, but
yeah.
Let me look back. Malachi's looking forward to Ahsoka. Well, okay. Peacemaker was super good. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Bill Paxton's dead. How are you going to make Twister 2? Exactly. Is Holland done as Spidey? I don't think he is. I mean, he'd be crazy if he was, because A, everybody loves him. B, he's probably going to earn more money doing Spider-Man than anything else he's ever going to do as an actor. And I'm just being honest, because A, people love him, and B, it is a Hollywood Marvel production. He's never going to get this kind of money working for the BBC. So he would be crazy if he just abandons it now. Malachi enjoyed Andor. Okay.
Actors get funny about that, though, about getting stuck and typecast.
You haven't watched Cobra Kai season 5? You should, Aaron. It's good. It's good. Yes, Machio has been in Cobra Kai since season 1, actually. So he's been in it all the time, Malachi. Cobra Kai was pretty good for the first 2 seasons. Yeah, well, it's still good, though. Amazon will start it up again. They don't need writers or actors. They'll just have Chat GPT make the script and CGI the characters. Yeah, you talk about the Rings of Power. Yeah, I could see that.
Well, you're getting text to video AI now. Some of it's quite scary good, actually.
Tulsa King is a show you need to watch. Yes, you do. It's very fun. He was good in Tulsa King. Yeah, Hugh Jackman is playing Wolverine. He has the yellow suit. Yeah, Deadpool 3. You liked it? Well, I mean, kudos to you, Maliki. I mean, everybody likes what they like, but no
kink shaming here.
Yeah, I'm not kink shaming any, but yeah, my disbelief meter broke about a third of the way into the film pretty quickly. Yeah, House of the Dragon was really good. Walking Dead, Dead City was all right. Okay, I need to check it out then. Which of those shows am I most excited about out of all of them? I guess I'd be lying if I said I wasn't mostly excited about House of the Dragon 2. And here's why. Because I loved Game of Thrones right up to 5th season, I think, maybe 4th season, when it really started to become apparent that the show was going to take a really crappy direction. And then by the time the last season came around, things had gotten so moronic as to be completely unbelievable. That 6th, 7th, and 8th seasons of Game of Thrones were so bad. They were unbelievable. And the way that they closed up a lot of these characters' arcs was just unforgivably bad.
Yeah.
So,
whereas this one is completely written. So
yeah. And that's the difference between, that and this. House of the Dragon, I went into House of the Dragon first episode really feeling like this is going to suck. I'm going to hate this, but I'm going to watch this first episode just to say I did it. And before I knew it, I was really enjoying it again. So, and I already know what is supposed to happen. I've already read how House of the Dragon is supposed to shake out, according to Martin. So I know how it's going to end, but that's not the point. It's kind of like, it's not how it ends, it's how we get there and how good it's going to be. So I think it's going to be good. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, Holland has a new contract for Spidey. Will be in the new movie. Okay. You'd like to see Tobey Maguire do an older Spidey? Well, I mean, you could have if you watched No Way Home, because he was in it along with Andrew Garfield. In fact, Andrew Garfield made me cry in that new movie.
He was that bad?
No, the whole scene with him catching Mary Jane, MJ. Yeah, I choked up really, really hard and started weeping because it's obviously reminiscent of Amazing Spider-Man 2 and how it ended, and that scene broke me in the theater. I was crying my eyes out after that one. Even though I'm a comic book fan and I know canonically in the comic books that it happened to Gwen Stacy, and I figured it would happen to her in the movies, it hurts to see it on screen. That's the power of film when it's done right. And maybe that's why I get angry with filmmakers and stuff today. It's because, you develop kind of a relationship, an internal monologue, and a feeling with the characters in the shows, in the films, and by extension, the actors who play those characters. It's why I got... I burst into tears, got upset, was crying when we found out that Ray Stevenson had died. because I had a connection with the guy, because I'd seen him all the way back to King Arthur. I saw him play the Punisher. You know, I saw him play all these various film roles, and I just loved that character, or the guy, so much, because I feel like he brought a lot of himself to those roles. You know, when you see Titus Pullo in Rome, you kind of feel like, you know, Ray Stevenson may be kind of a lot like this character in reality, too. Just kind of this big, sort of oafish but sweet person. You know? And yeah, you liked Garfield as Spider-Man? Garfield was pretty good as Spider-Man. I loved Maguire as Spider-Man. I like Holland as Spider-Man. I like all the Spider-Men. I'll be honest, all of the guys who played Spider-Man have been great. The movies haven't always been so great. But the actual guys who play them as their characters have always been good. Yeah, death of Gwen Stacy broke you too. Yeah. Because it was tragic. I mean, it was just you knew what was going to happen, but still, it was just when you actually see it on screen, it is so powerful. But anyway, well, our 2 hours is already here, my man.
Well, been a bit tricky holding the show together with just the two of us.
Nah.
Yeah, sorry, I've been tired and flagging a little bit.
Nah, you've been great.
Did we want to talk about the actor who's been let off briefly?
Yeah, I think we can talk about that really quickly. So, whether it upsets anybody or not, I think it's worth mentioning. You know, Kevin Spacey recently was acquitted in England. And so he's been cleared of all the charges. From what I read, apparently the people who accused him, a couple of them had jumped onto it as a Me Too bandwagon, basically trying to get money out of him or something. I don't know all the particulars, but yeah, he was acquitted, and so he's been saying, you know, hey, I can go back to work now. He says, because I haven't had any work in 6 years. And it's not so much that I love Kevin Spacey. I mean, yes, I think he's a great actor. He's been in some really good films and some great shows. It's just that it strikes me on a personal level because Kevin Spacey was accused of something, and we always tell people, it's like, hey, man, you're innocent until proven guilty. But everybody treated him like he was guilty. He didn't work for 6 years. He hadn't been in anything in 6 years. They pulled him off of anything that he was working on immediately. And it just seemed like people were going out of their way to shit on this guy. And, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
But I think it's trickier in instances like this because Spacey being in a film was something you could use to sell that film beforehand, right? It's kind of like how with politicians, even an appearance of impropriety is an issue. Well, you might not think that being American, but, where bribery is pretty much legal, but you know, that's supposed to be the standard. And would people have gone to see a Kevin Spacey film after these accusations? Would there have been pickets? How much flack would the studios have gotten? Would other actors have refused to appear in their productions and so on? So it's difficult. You can understand why they wouldn't work with him. At the same time, it is unjust. And the thing is, he's probably still not going to get any work.
Well, he says people have been wanting to give him work, so we'll see. But Immortal Rising, you think it was a bribe? You think it was bribery, huh? Well, maybe so. But okay, let's say it wasn't Kevin Spacey. Let's say it was somebody really ultra massive. Okay, let's say that let's say it was like Sylvester Stallone in the same situation where he got accused of something improprietary, and
he's not massive anymore, is he? I mean, he's doing small films and a TV series. So Stallone's lost his star power. I'm trying to think of who is a big draw still.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, but people got it in for him too.
They do. But the reason I say Stallone is it's like, okay, if Stallone had been in the same situation, obviously he doesn't have to worry about work because he's a multimillionaire at this point, so he could probably survive and retire. But the point is, even if he was innocent, how many people would have dissed him in his back catalog of work? Would people have stopped looking at Rambo? Would they have started harshly criticizing the Rambo films? Would all these legions of people start showing up, and saying, Rocky was garbage and all this, and refusing to watch it and all this, Would it have hurt the Creed films moving forward and all these other things?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like, Kevin Spacey was a huge actor.
He was a serious actor.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody accused, like, let's say, Nick Nolte of the same stuff, most people wouldn't care. I mean, and he used to be a big deal at one time, but he's had so many crazy run-ins with the law and everything else in Hollywood. Everybody would be like, well, that's Nick Nolte. It's kind of what we expected. So it's like
it would be shocking if someone like, I don't know, Tom Hanks or The Rock, someone like that turned out to be a sex pest. That would be
The Rock would be devastating to a lot of people, because he's got such a clean image for the most part. Yeah,
it's been interesting watching what happened around Cosby as well. Though.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people deep in denial about what he was clearly up to.
And they still make jokes about it to this day. It's like, oh, give me the Cosby special or whatever. I need to go to sleep today.
Yeah, I mean, he basically copped to what he'd done in one hearing, but the hearing was supposed to be off the record or something, and that's why he was let off, basically on a technicality. But he basically admitted everything that he was doing. But there are people who refuse to face up to the fact that he did it. It's a bit like O.J. Simpson and the murders. There seems to be a sort of racial snafu in some people's heads. Like, Cosby, no, he's one of us. He can't possibly have done it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess if we're going that direction, yeah. What if Denzel Washington had that same accusation? Now, he's still a guy with a lot of star power.
Yeah.
Cross race, cross genre, cross everything, because he's been in just about everything. I don't
know, but what do you do if you're a studio head like that and something like that happens? Either you can throw Spacey or whoever off the project, and you might end up having to pay him compensation at some point in the future for not respecting his rights. But keeping him on would place all your other productions and stars and hirings and everything in a hazard. So you stand to lose more money if you do respect his rights. It's a weird position to be in. And the public, ultimately, in these kind of instances, they're going to take against the guy. Realistically, no one's going to care about the rights.
Cast him in a Flash movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other case I've ever seen that was like this before was Mel Gibson, where he pretty much, he got blackballed in Hollywood. And even after a time, he has managed to kind of claw his way back.
Yeah. to a small extent.
Yeah, to a small extent. And, and that was a beloved actor at one time. I mean, Jesus. I mean, his body of work was something. Although he's still always going to be, Max Rockatansky to me. But I don't know. It's just... I almost hate to ask this, Grim, because I almost kind of feel like it's... I almost kind of feel like if I ask this question, if I voice it, it may not happen. But do you think cancel culture is finally running its course?
I have thought that about once every 3 years for the past 12 years. So, no. These kind of cultural moments used to be over within a handful of years. There was a backlash, and that was an end to it. That doesn't seem to have happened this time. And furthermore, the censorious cancelling people on both wings of the political turkey are both hammering away at censorship and saying things are bad and wrong and horrible, albeit for different reasons. And I think creatives are just kind of stuck in the middle. And there doesn't seem to be a will or a capacity to stick your neck out. I certainly feel it whenever I create anything. You're always waiting for the people to take against you. And however defiant and punk rock you are, it does wear on you. And I think that's why so much entertainment is crap. Nobody wants to take any risks. And in some ways, they're right not to take risks. Because you're just going to end up being fucked over one way or the other. So, I mean, I hope it goes away, but that's not what I'm seeing. You've got, people on the right wing trying to ban the mere mention of transgender people from existence, and trying to stop sex ed in schools, and trying to ban this, that, and the other. And then you got people on the other side of things running their own censorship programs and trying to stop various things being taught, or insisting that some things are taught and must be taught in a particular way. So it's both. Whether they're trying to ban or re-edit old films, or whether they're trying to ban or re-edit drag performances or whatever else. It's all fucked.
Yeah. Social media is such a weird thing, because it's like at one point it's a bit like a train wreck in which you don't want to keep watching this. You want to distance yourself from it. You want to stop looking at it. You want to look away and not interact with it anymore, because it's just horrible.
I mean, if Twitter does collapse, as it may, X. If X collapses, if it's an epic fail, maybe some of this will go away, because the other social sites just don't have the same level of integration with the media apparatus. They don't have the same political and social reach that X has had up until this point. But I think it would still be a loss, because there's still a lot of positive sides to these forms of social media, and we need to adapt to them, which is a longer, more painful process. But it just feels like everyone is just watching everything everyone else is doing to find something to bitch about, or to trip them over so that the bear eats them and not you. So you run as fast as you can the opposite direction. So everyone is watching everyone else.
I made that assertion several years ago, as I was doing research and stuff in history. I noticed that there was more and more heroes that were being vilified, especially in social media. It's like, oh, you like such and such? Well, guess what? He was a this and a this and a that. And I'm just kind of like, Yeah, but does it take away from his accomplishments that much? I mean, did he still not accomplish something massive despite the fact that, he was maybe not the most perfect human being in reality,
Yeah. It's like how life has been under totalitarian regimes, only without the totalitarian regime. Yeah, everyone speaks in code. You are hugely careful around people until you know them and you can trust them. I mean, look at the way people speak on YouTube or TikTok. Let's say, he unalived himself, or
yes,
or hardcore corn.
Yeah.
Or these or in creative use of emojis and things. It's ridiculous, but it reminds me of reading about how people used to talk on the down low in the Soviet Union or under Pinochet, or these other instances. It's weird.
Or even Cockney rhyming slang and why it was invented.
Yeah,
to hide your activities.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And yes, you're right. You're right, Raven. It's because YouTube will strike your channel on some of these words. Yes, and that's true.
Right, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's the same thing on social media too. It's like I was saying earlier. I had a friend who his account was suspended and banned because he said something in such a way as to where the algorithm picked it up and said no, and banned him for it. I've been. It's kind of funny because there was a time when I first got on Facebook years ago, and you could kind of say whatever you wanted to and get away with it, and then all of a sudden it got to be more and more and more clamped down to the point where I got in Facebook jail so many times for innocent stuff. I mean, it's like at one point I mentioned eating something that was so hot I wanted to die, or that it would kill you to eat this, and Facebook threw me in jail for like 72 hours for saying that, and I'm just like, I was expressing an opinion about something I had eaten that was too spicy. And you can go through all the appeals process and everything else, but I guarantee you, if a human even sees that appeal, and there's probably tons and tons and tons of them, to the point where yours is buried so deeply that if they manage to get around to it, it's the ban is already over.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure these people would probably wipe their ass with it.
And then the support staff that are churning through these things are mostly in other countries that don't necessarily share the same culture and therefore don't know your idioms within your language. English is a second or third language to them. So, I got in trouble once for saying enough rope to hang themselves.
Yeah.
Which, is a common enough phrase.
It is. And okay, and Raven, you say it's why I upload to like 5 platforms. Okay, but you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to go into 5 or 6 different platforms in order to be able to speak and say what you want to speak. Now, I did back this channel up on Odyssey, but that was as a backup, not as a, oh boy, I'm going to get more money if I jump on Odyssey. Because I don't think anybody even cares that I'm on Odyssey. No, I don't have any channel subscribers. Nobody who looks at my stuff on Odyssey. I don't think they even got my entire catalog onto Odyssey, to be quite honest.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, like YouTube, Facebook, these places are more restrictive than network television is.
Mm-hmm.
And they shouldn't be. They should be much more liberated. It should be easier to express yourself here. It should be more open to express yourself here. But the advertisers seem to have even more strength on social media than they do on network television. It's
well, Aaron, you say to hell with social media. Yeah, except that, okay, let's take it back a step. Before all the social media, like let's say like the open social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc., there was forums and forum posting. And originally, I come from the old forum posting and BBS days. And even on forum posting and stuff like that, I have seen a shift in the forum posting culture.
Look at RPGNet, how that's fallen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this influx of people bringing their values onto that platform has shifted what can and can't be said on these platforms. Whereas at one point you used to be able to joke and talk about stuff and maybe openly because somebody, complained to the admin about it. It's like, oh, you can't say those things anymore. Can't do that anymore. And it's just, you say, yeah, you shouldn't have to, but that's not really the point. Your first thought was if you do, you can open up to a wider audience, but everything YouTube does reinforce. Okay, well, but can you open up to a wider audience? I mean, it's kind of like, unless people are using those other platforms, they're not seeing it. Like I just said,
not.
Yeah, it's like I said, I moved everything over to Odyssey. None of my stuff gets looked at. I don't advertise my Odyssey because it's not what it's for. It's just I'm just backing my stuff up. But it's for the same reason that I don't jump over to Kick or any of these other things. It's because it's like there are other forms of social media. Yes, they would allow me some more freedom and stuff, but Rumble but at the same time, it's like, wouldn't they kind of dilute my message, my content, and what I do? Most people you all came to me here, right? What are the chances?
Like it or not.
Yeah. What are the chances that somebody's going to discover me on Rumble? I mean, just being honest, unless there's like billions of users on Rumble that I didn't realize were actively watching it every day, my chances are better here on YouTube, like it or not. Oh, and Rumble's reporting has been... They say you get no views, but you get comments on Rumble. Well, I mean, yeah, see, there you go. So, I don't know. I haven't gone to Rumble yet, but I don't know. If there was a really awesome alternative platform that, was already set up and people were, flocking to it in droves and, it promised,
It's the usual problem. A rival sets up that's got a looser free speech thing and a bunch of wankers colonize it. And then it gets a reputation as being, a far right platform or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you go there, you're going to be tarred with the same brush, or all your comments are going to be shitty people saying shitty things to you. So it never gets any traction. And this happens again and again and again. Gab.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even remember Gab.
And it's still going, but it's not great. Rumble seems to have been colonized by particularly sort of right-wing media figures who've been banned from other places. It's it's a bit like the Kevin Spacey issue.
Yeah. It seems like that's almost a larger issue. You can almost make a whole show on that, but
yeah.
We're not, Wiki Geek's not really about that so much. It's, we talk about it and stuff, but it's not like our main focus. We're still here to entertain with pop culture and things and show you some cool stuff and maybe, have a good kind of upbeat time with things, or we try to anyway. It's not always easy. Especially not lately, but
but things like the Johnny Depp case and Spacey, and there's been some others. It's a bit of hope. Things might turn out okay in the end.
Yeah, things might be on the rebound, especially now that people who are subscribing to ESG have started to feel the impact of what that has actually done to their business. I mean, it's kind of like, what good is it to be able to borrow tons and tons of money from from BlackRock if to make your next product if nobody's buying your next product because it complies with ESG? I mean, it's a self-defeating entity. It's like, okay, I need $4 billion so I can make my next video game. I go to BlackRock and I borrow $4 billion, but they tell me it has to be compliant with their standards of ESG. So I build all that compliance into my video game. I release my video game. Everybody looks at it and goes, "What is this crap? No, I'm not buying this." And so I don't know. Yeah. Bud is laying off employees. Yeah, exactly. They shot themselves in the foot. So a lot of these other companies. Yeah. Know your audience. Yeah. Well, but anyway.
Right. It is definitely sleepy time for me.
Yeah, it is late. I need a beverage. So I hope you guys have enjoyed our show today. If you have gone back and you've watched older episodes and you have noticed that our title music changed, or sometimes the music inside of the video has changed, yeah, that's because apparently somebody is going back 2 and 3 years since the show's been around and suddenly discovering copyright infringements that weren't there 2-3 years ago. So I'm having to go and retroactively alter the music and the content in order to comply with the copyrights. So my apologies if you really enjoyed the title tracks for some of our older videos. I really do apologize for that, but that's not a creature of my doing. The only title track that I know will probably never be affected is the one that we use from Faderhead. And that is because we have that license, he has opened that up for us to use. And therefore we'll never be copyright claimed for that one. But all the other ones, yeah, they're starting to get hit with copyright claims. So I do apologize for that, guys. It's really sad because at the time I made those opening clips and those videos, they weren't getting copyright hits. And after 2 years, you would think, okay, they're safe. Well, they're not, because somebody went all the way back to like my very first video and hit me with a copyright claim. So, these guys are insane.
Quasi monetized now.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's because I'm quasi monetized. If I get fully monetized, they'll probably go ahead and hit the rest of them too.
Could be fake claims as well. Always check.
Well, whether they're fake or not, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to take a chance. We'll just why fight them? It makes no sense to fight them because it's like it's more trouble than it's worth. Unless it's something that you definitively know that they can't touch. Like I know definitively they can't touch the Faderhead copyright. That's us. That's Faderhead's got it in writing. I can always contact Faderhead and say, hey. So there is that.
Game tomorrow?
Yeah, game tomorrow. We're going to play Darwin's World tomorrow. Y'all guys are invited, of course, and girls, and anyone else who wants to watch. And if you want to participate, well, let me know.
You'll come back now, you hear?
Yeah. We will see you on the next Week in Geek.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.
the suffering of life. How do you look out the suffering of life?
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.